Welcome to Night School, Pieware Night School. Happy New Year to everyone. Hope everything's going well in this new year for everyone. We're going to hang out here for a couple minutes, let people join up. Tonight at Night School, we're going to be doing the Sketch tool and Sketch library. Let's take a look here first at the Sketch mode. Sketch mode was enabled or added in version 10. Sketch mode is enabled by selecting the compass option in the top right corner. Basically what that's going to do is it's going to enable all of the sketch functions, the sketch functionality in your drawing tools. So anything that you use to draw, you're now able to create a sketch from instead of actually drawing a form with positions. All of these positions are now going to be sketch points. So basically, I've created a form, and this form can then be used to add any number of performers to at a later date. So essentially, we now have a sketch pad, or your napkin drawings become available inside the software. So you can sketch out different ideas without actually using performers. Let's say we had just a very simple form here. You are now able to sketch different ideas on top of that without actually having to select performers. So you can get the forms exactly like you want. And then you can come back and add performers to them later. Let's see. To add performers to a sketch, you would just need to select the performers you want to add to that sketch. Select your sketch tool, which is this button right here. It's going to apply a performer to a sketch. You're going to then select the sketch that you want to apply to. If you only have one sketch available on the page, it's automatically going to select that for you and automatically start matching it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click this form, and by default what it's going to do is equalize the interval across that entire form. So as you can see here, I have more positions than I did have data points in this particular sketch. So I have a tighter interval on the applied form than I did on the sketch. Now we did add functionality to allow you to place the exact number of performers that you have inside of the sketch. So what it's going to do now is it's going to only match the number of performers to the number of sketch data points that I have. So that's going to then leave off a couple of performers down here that leave them unmatched. So if I were to accept that, it's going to match all of those performers and leave the extra few left over. Say if I undid that sketch. All right. The opposite thing would be to select the form and then just apply everybody. It's going to show you the average interval there. You've got a two-step, roughly a two-step interval, and now I've got the form applied. And the same thing goes for any other forms on the page. As you can see now, since I only have a single sketch on the page, once I select the sketch tool, it's going to automatically start matching. And by default, you will have all the matching options that you've had in the past. You are able to shift the sketch around before you accept it as well. And once you accept it, it's going to delete your sketch and go from there. One thing that you can also do, since the sketch points basically function as performers, you can actually group the sketches. So let's say we wanted to create a complex form that you had previously had to use the omit overlaps option in order to create, but it would never really allow you to have a even interval. So what I'm going to do is create a couple of arcs here. have it come into a spiral. All right, so I've got my 3 forms here. I'm going to come through and I'm just going to glue those using the glue tool. Well, it would help if I actually did that in sketch mode. So I'm going to actually copy this form and I'm going to paste it as a new sketch. So now I have my sketch. All right, let's get rid of our performers that we're not going to use. All right, so I have my 3 different forms here glued into one sketch form. And let's just put a block of performers here to work with. Say 10 by 10. All right, so I can select my 100 performers here. And then just going to proximity match. At this point in time, I'm going to equalize that interval over that entire form. So as you see here, I get a nice fluid interval over that multi-segmented form that we've created. It gives you an easy way of creating more complex forms that you would be using across multiple drawing tools. Now, something that we've added is the sketch library. The sketch library basically expands the ability of what you have with a sketch tool and allows you to create files with those. So you can actually load sketch files. So let's say I have a option of cover down blocks here. So when I load this sketch library in my sketch library tool, I'm going to have the option to see all of the sketches in that particular file. So it's going to load the sketch that is on page 1 in that sketch library here. And it's going to show you the groupings for the sketches as well as the sketch points. And I can just toggle through those pages until I get to a point where I want to say I want to add this one. I'm going to now choose to use this sketch. And what that's going to do is it's going to apply that sketch to my page. So now I can select any performers here and then start building my block. So let's just grab a few here. I'm going to select my sketch tool. I'm going to select the sketch line that I want. Let's say here. I have my 2 options, whether to equalize the interval here, or since I have a block, I'm going to maintain the integrity of the block. So I'm going to select sketch points to places, so it's only going to apply the number of performers that I have equal to the number of places in my sketched line. And I accept that, and then it applies. Now, there are multiple ways that you can build your sketch libraries. One is you can actually create just a new sketch library by selecting your sketch library manager. I'm going to go ahead and title it Test Sketch Library. Very unique. Okay. Now, in this particular window, I also have options to where I can import pages from an existing drill. Basically, that allows me to import an entire drill as a sketch, giving me the ability to use that sketched file to redraw or map out my drill with different number of performers. So let's take a look at creating our own empty sketch library first. I'm going to go ahead and choose Save here. Okay. I'm going to now open that sketch library, go to my sketches folder, open my test sketch library. Being that it is an empty sketch library now, I have to add a number of pages. So let's say I'm going to add 5 pages for now. We can always come back and do that, add more at a later time. It's going to give me my 5 pages. Now, it's going to automatically put all of your tools into sketch mode. So now you can come in and start drawing. So let's say I wanted to start making several blocks in this one. All right, let's say I wanted to do a 10 by 10 block. At a 2-step interval. And I want to come down and just build those down. Let's say I want to do 8 by 8 and a 2. Basically, this allows me to create any of the common block types or any common shapes that we have that we can use to reference at a later time. So in the off season, you're able to create different things to be used in the heat of the season. I know a lot of you use a cheat sheet out there for wedges, blocks, and other things of that sort. So you can actually digitize the cheat sheet in a sketch file to load independently. Let's get one more set here. Okay. Go ahead and save that. And now I can create a new file or open an existing file. Come to my sketch library tool. And now I have all of my sketches available to me immediately. Let's go ahead and open a drill and show you how to create a sketch file from a full drill file. So let's see here. Let's just go with this one. All right. So you would open the drill file that you want to create a sketch from. Let's say we had several different changes in numbers in this particular file, so we really kind of need to rewrite it. So what we can do is create a new sketch file. I'm going to choose to import all pages, and I'm going to include my subsets. And we're just going to say BYU sketch. All right, once I do this, it's going to then import everything here. Okay, and now I'm going to have my entire drill that I have done in a sketch. As you can see, it shows the groupings that are in there. You can then open this particular file if you want to correct those groupings or make it a little bit easier. Say I wanted to go in and finesse that a little bit. I'm going to open my file here, my BYU sketch. I can come in and then clean up the sketch lines into the forms that we want. All right. Let's clean these up real quick. All right. you'd go through and prep this. Then once you have it created, you can use that for multiple different rewrites, assuming that you would have to come back and do that. If you're a drill designer that does it professionally, you can also do this for shows that you want to adapt. So create a show, create a sketch from that show, and then you're able to adapt it to different sizes very easily. You basically get your attendance block or starting block out there, and then you can apply it to the sketches independently and create very swift adjusted files. Let's see here. Real quick. Are there any questions so far? Okay, I'm just going to finish up this arc. We'll save that and then show you how it looks in real-time usage. All right. I'm going to load my sketch. And now it has the cleaned sketch lines. So I can go ahead and start here, use my sketch, and then at that point in time, I would then pull from my attendance block. Say if you have the same pregame every year, you just have different instrumentation, you're able to create a sketch file of, let's say, this last year's pregame and easily put the new instrumentation in. Alrighty. Just going to match a few here as an example. Okay. So at this point in time, if I didn't need any of the other sketch points, if I had resized it down, then I could come back in and remove those sketches. Also, the sketch points only exist on the count that they are created on. So if you add another page, those disappear. So I've got my performers here. I can come in and add another set. All right. I can also regroup the sketch here. All right. I have a question from John. He's asking what the sketch tool allows you to do. So basically, the sketch tool allows you to create all the different sketches that you might be doing on your napkin. It becomes your sketch pad or your transfer paper, if you wish. It allows you to create the designs, the shapes, without actually having to put performers to it. So it lets you spitball ideas easily, and you can save those ideas for later use. It makes it a lot easier just to play around with different ideas without having to commit to a particular transition. Easily add those in and test different things. So. Were there any other questions? The sketch tool is available in version 10. Prior to version 10.03, which is the version that I am currently using, it is a single tool here that has a sketch icon there. It's going to look just like a compass. In 10.03, we've changed the icon to be more descriptive and also have added the sketch library icon. We're in the final phases of beta testing of 10.03, which implements the full sketch library. If you're interested, we can send you out a beta version to test with that. That should be released, I'm hoping, the end of the week, if not next week. Okay, let's just another question on to how to implement a sketch. If you like it, let's just go ahead and start a fresh file. So to implement a sketch, you would need to first have performers. So I have a set of performers here. Let's get an actual set of performers. All right, set of performers. And I'm going to apply a sketch. Let's actually get a different sketch library here. Okay, so let's say I want this sketch. Okay, I don't like where that's glued for my particular file here, so I'm going to actually cut that and glue it back together. Okay, now to apply these performers to this sketch, I would select the performers. I would then select my sketch tool, and then it's going to start matching. You're going to have the same matching functions that you are accustomed to. Since this is an opening set, the matching lines don't really matter because there is no transition. So I'd select this, accept. Well, accept. There we go. Select my sketch tool, select the sketch, create the matching. Let's undo that right quick. So the steps were select the performers, select your sketch tool. It's going to automatically apply to the sketch. If there is only one sketch, if there's multiple sketches, you would click on the sketch you want to apply to, create the matching lines that you want for the transition you're looking for, and accept. What that does, it then deletes the sketch that is there and applies the performers to the sketched pathway. Were there any other questions about the sketch or sketch library for tonight? Well, we're going to be back next Wednesday, same time, 9 p.m. Central, for another episode of Night School here. If you have any questions, please feel free to message us or email us. Also, if you have anything that you want to see, go ahead and message us or email us, and we'd be happy to include it in the next episode. Thank y'all very much. Y'all have a wonderful night, and you see y'all next time.